Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai
Jai Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sri Ram,
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sri Ram, Jai
Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Yes, come on.
Namaskaram, Swamiji. One question.
Namaskaram.
In chapter 8, Journey to Tirupapuli.
Chapter number?
8.
8.
The paragraph begins with, this observation was highly approved of by the other party who held a similar. Now my question is, Papa thanks the person. How kind of thee to put Ramdas in such a situation in which he is made to hear himself spoken of in this manner. When somebody is speaking ill of you, the first thing we have is a reaction. Instead, he is thanking the person to put him in such a situation. Now, I am not able to understand this thanking.
We are trying to view it from the individual level, you know. Every time when we are trying to understand what is blocking us is that we are viewing everything from the individual level. Individual level, we find what the two people did was wrong. But when you raise yourself to a higher level, as a play of God, to test Him, then everything becomes clear. And here he is thanking him because he has become aware of the test given. O Ram, how kind of you to put Ramdas in a situation in which he is made to hear himself spoken of in this manner. Instead of being annoyed, he sent up a prayer to Ram to bless the young men for their flanker. So that means it is not an individual to individual. If we are viewing everything from the individual level, our rights and wrongs will definitely come up. But when we are trying to raise ourselves from the individual level, our spiritual sadhana should enable us to raise ourselves from individual level. And in order to know that we are raising or we are getting stuck, God puts such tests on us. IQG teaches us this. When we keep on moving from chapter to chapter, the test goes on. Sometime during last year or year before last year, Shraddha made a beginning of locating the test. If we remember, she said that more than 100 tests. More than 100 tests in this IQG test. Why? Because Ram wanted that he has absolutely raised himself from the individual level. Even a trace of that is not there. So that is why he kept on bringing one test after another. Everywhere we find, though apparently for all practical purposes, the individual is acting or reacting, but in heart of heart, he has been able to raise himself to a higher level. So the message to all of us is that when we feel that we are on the spiritual discipline, when we feel that we are moving ahead, what is the litmus test? So unless and until such situations are brought before us, and how do we react to events and individuals, whether at the individual level or at a higher level? And here one more message is there. When we are in a position to raise ourselves to a higher level, not only that we are not disturbed, but the other party gets transformed also. So that was not the intention of Papa. That is the outcome of that process. Okay. So we, as you said, we keep on reading this because we will forget. We will again come down to the individual level. So again we have to try. Every day is reading, every day when we concentrate on any one chapter, it brings up this. Good that it is brought again. It is not repetition. It is an assertion. Papa is making us to assert. Try to raise. Then we played. Sorry, we wanted to raise, but we don't raise. We are again looking at it from the individual level. Then he said, try.
Swamiji, when we repeat Ram Nam, on which level we are repeating? When we repeat Ram Nam, on individual level, because it is confusing. When we repeat Ram Nam, you are telling we should do.
If you think you are repeating Ram Nam, it is at the individual level.
So higher level, how to understand? How higher level?
He is making
God is making us to chant.
Pardon?
It is purely an internal experience where you feel you are made to repeat.
So feeling should be there, not thinking. So feeling will come after some days only, no? It will not come.
It cannot be given to anybody. It cannot be conveyed to anybody. It is an internal, purely an internal experience where we feel that we have been prompted to chant. Because the moment we become aware of his life force, for example, but for that I will not be able to chant. So he has not only given me body, mind, intellect equipment. He has not only given me the holy and all powerful Ram Nam through my Guru. Now he is also making me to chant.
So it will take time, I think, no, Swamiji?
It depends upon one's intensity. Intensity, that's all.
Swamiji,
it can come in a trice, it can come after so many decades.
Swamiji, intellectual level there is a God is prompting us to chant, God is made us to chant என்றது. But at 90% வரைக்கும் நம்ம இன்டெலெக்சுவலா புரிஞ்சுக்கிறது என்னன்னா நான் ராம்நாம் சொல்றேன் அப்படிதான் இருக்கு சுவாமி. அந்த ஃபீல் ஒரு 10% தான் இருக்கு.
You have to keep on trying because it is not a thinking, raise ourselves individual level, it is not thinking. Immediately the feeling comes. It can't be explained, it is purely an internal experience. So we keep on praying. One method is consciously chanting. So that the thought will not be there. The thought which is asserting that I am chanting is not there. Consciously chanting. Another method is to think about during our non-chanting time, we think about His bounteous gifts to us. Another method is to, whenever we are at leisure, we try to detach ourselves from the body, mind, intellect. I can see my body, so I can't be the body. I can know this is a good thought, bad thought, deplorable thought, noble thought, constructive thought, destructive thought. How am I to understand that? Somebody is watching, somebody is evaluating, Then again you are trying to detach yourself from the thought level. Like that, there are so many methods. Whichever is comfortable or convenient for us, we try to choose. This is purely due to trial and error only we will get. Otherwise it becomes academic, somebody says something and we are doing it. No. This has to be developed by every one of us individually, drawing the needed requisites from within. He has given us everything. We are struggling because we have not applied this perspective while chanting. It will take time. Over decades, we have been simply chanting. And we were appreciating somebody's chanting. We ourselves will feel our chanting was today excellent. We say your chanting, your Ramnam session was today so beautiful. All those things we are viewing at the individual level. We don't know that. Somebody's chanting is good. Somebody's chanting is good, That means at the individual level, we are appreciating. But now a stage has come that we should go beyond that. That served as a purpose, that served its purpose. Because to habituate Ramnam, to enjoy Ramnam, that was necessary. But now the next step is, we have to raise ourselves from the individual level. And one more thing, now as we discuss, one more thing comes up. If we try only during the chanting time, it may be difficult. During the non-chanting time also, we try to raise ourselves from the individual level. Giving space, okay, if that word clarifies. Giving space for that. We have not given space. The me and mine is fully occupying the mind space. We are trying to give space, Space for the power who have given us the space. We are trying to give space for the power who have given us the space. At the moment, though he has given, we have not given him the space. The owner of the house is staying in the upstairs. We are not allowing him to come inside in our down floor. But the moment we allow him to come inside, though everything is his, still we have not. We have occupied, we have possessed. We have not, we think it is exclusively ours. Whereas the owner is there, and it is his. Something like that, we keep on teaching and then we will slowly make us aware. So there is no other shortcut. This has to be practiced, and we have been assured that we will try to get the balance.
Swamiji, in Himalayan Journey 3, chapter number 26, at one place, Papa says, 26. The paragraph starts with, to describe the scene, the poor pen of Ramdas is quite inadequate and unfit. As he gazed on, he for a time lost body consciousness and became one with the tall mountains in the midst of which he was sitting. Did he feel he was sitting or he was there? Not here in his body, but there, among the mountains.
See, you and I have experienced this, when we are immersed in a song, in a program, when we are sitting at the mountain top. It might be for a trice, we may not even, the mind may not even recognize. Just go back and see that. You are enjoying a music program, a Carnatic music program, a dance program, a discourse program. Anything where you are seeing a movie, you are seeing a serial. When you get engrossed in it, at the gross level you lose your body consciousness. If you are aware of the body consciousness, you are not enjoying it. Think about it. This has happened to you and me. And it has been happening also. There are many a times, we try to be free from the body consciousness at the gross level. It is not that body consciousness is not there. At the gross level, it is not there. At a subtle level, it may be there. So here, when he was enchanted by that, he saw, when we say God dimension, normally, all of us used to superimpose something on the object or the person or the situation. We are trying to accept itself as God. It is not that something else is added to it. He has mentioned, he himself has written in some of his words, we'll find out that itself, not that, is the God in a particular thing. That means, unknowingly we are trying to superimpose, just like the Vigraha is superimposed by a Vishtadevata, we are trying to superimpose something on the object, on the situation, on the person. But here, he is accepting everything as not superimposition. The moment you see the coffee plant before, or the tree, or the mountain, or the building, immediately, he is there, he has come out in the form of creativity with a different characteristic. That reality, he becomes aware. In that particular moment, the perceiver, the looker, he is not there. So perceiving is going on. So feeling is going on. Thinking is going on. The feeling that I am thinking, I am feeling, I am perceiving is not there. This is not a superhuman effort. All of us are going through every day whenever we are engrossed in any work. When there is a total involvement, naturally, for that particular split second, we are away from the body consciousness. You go back to your own life. It becomes very, very clear. If we are aware that we are sitting and hearing, we are not hearing. If we are aware that we are sitting and seeing, we are not seeing. The moment we become totally engrossed in it, the sense of individuality or the body consciousness, for a moment, steps out. And it may come immediately, but for a moment it steps out.
Can you explain once more? Swami, same thing, can you explain once more, Swamiji? Just know what you told now, can you explain once more?
You go back to your own life experience. When you are hearing something, when you are looking something, if you say it was wonderful, it was a thrilling experience, then suppose when you were seeing movies, when you were attending music concerts, when you were attending bhajan, when you were attending discourses, when there is a total involvement in that, the body consciousness, as it were, stepped out. It is not going out. As it were, it stepped out. At the gross level, it is not there. Even if something goes near, we may not be aware of it. Correct.
Swamiji, even now, Swami, because when you are telling something, if you are listening to your words deeply, that means it's involved.
Correct.
There is no sense of body. That means even listening, not hearing, as you just say, no hearing, it is just listening with rapt attention, complete attention. That itself is, we lost the body, we don't have that sense.
The difference between absence of body though we get this, we are not in a position to bring in that God dimension there. Again, it is individual to individual level. We say it was her dance was superb. His discourse was superb. His magician's magic was superb. Like that, individual to individual. We are not seeing the God who is behind it in the form of creativity, in the form of potentiality, in the form of intelligence. He is now playing. That we are not aware. So in Papa's case, due to his Ram's grace and his own effort, as supported by Ram, he has been able to get over this at individual level. Viewing everything, though he retains the body, though he retains the sense of individuality, he is able to enjoy, everything, because he has been able to try to keep up a level which is higher than the individual level. Even in Tirupati you find, when it was difficult for them to sleep, and the Sadhuram said, out of question, immediately Papa says, it is good, Ram has provided time for Ram Bhajan. No? Yes, sir. Just think about it. So throughout this, he was blessed with this. He was blessed with a state where he has been able to maintain that a higher level from the body conscious. Otherwise, can you imagine, can anybody stay there? Because the sadhu with all his vairagya, they are also trying their level best. But he couldn't. But so everywhere, this is something which we should not miss in IQG.
True.
And then we keep on trying, how do you make me to do it, please? Give me some clue by which I also maintain. And one thing is becoming clear, that if we try to make it, raise ourselves from the individual level only during the Ramanam time, then it will not work. Again, because mind is not habituated, mind is not trained. So during our waking state, while handling everything, while transacting with the various, objects and persons and situations, we try our level best to move from our present level to a little higher level. So when we make a conscious effort, we will be able to apply it even while chanting Ramanam. Then it slowly comes to settle down. And when we read, we get assurance from Prabhupada that you will get stabilized.
Yes, Swami.
You will always think about the goodness of others. You will always think about the positive side of others. You will hardly think about any other adverse circumstances God made you to go through. You will not remember. You will only see these days, goodness is godliness. So keep on thinking about it. And then try to apply it in as many fields as possible. Doesn't matter even if we fail. We may fail, no. Natural. We are not accustomed to it.
Yes,
Swamiji. Swamiji.
1 minute. Submission to God's will. A cheerful attitude towards all circumstances of life, and to be engaged in blissful and selfless activity can be possible only when man is in intimate communion and oneness with him who is love and goodness. This is a statement of Papa. The moment he says love and goodness, suppose we try to start seeing goodness in everybody. Take it, we have risen from the individual level. The goodness, positive. Then the so-called negative will also get transformed into positive.
That is possible at the individual level also, yes, Swamiji.
It is possible. It is possible. But these are some of the ways by which, we try to raise our... That is what is needed as a spiritual aspect. Even if I fall, and when I get fractured, immediate response will be, there is no head injury. No? You are seeing the other side. Instead of crying and wailing, oh, I fell down, I had a fracture, I will be immobilized, my hand will be immobilized for another 15 days, 20 days, something like that. No? There could be, you can grumble, you can at the same time complain, at the same time you can feel okay.
Swamiji, Swamiji, good. Okay.
Hariom, please wait. Swamiji will come back. Let him
You got me down. He's waiting at the moment.
சும்மா வந்துட்டு
சும்மா கூட இல்லையே, அதே
Suddenly there was some problem.
Swamiji, one point I wanted to tell you is it is okay to think about the mosquitoes. It is maybe bearable. But what about climbing the snow-clad mountains without even a footwear? Normal chappal also, he didn't have one chappal also. With that, he could wear, not warm clothes, nothing. But that seems to be...
We cannot imagine, no?
The entire Himalayan journey seems to be a sanketic language of us to rise a spiritual journey, not to slip down. I feel since 2-3 days I started feeling like that, Swamiji.
Yeah. Amazing. We cannot bring into our mind. How is it possible? And she takes the bath at those places where it is icy cold, you know. You can't. So that means he has been, it is not that during that particular time he developed. Right from the start, this self-denial vows, which have strengthened, endurance capacity. God made him to go through all these things so that at two levels, the individual level, you can raise ourselves. With the physical level and in the mental level. Mere mental level, no. We all would like to raise ourselves. But physical level, but of course, the age was different, agreed. But commitment is there, that is important. Yesterday we were going through one small book which came in our hand. He says, what is commitment? Commitment, commitment is an act, not a word. Commitment is not an act, it's a word. It's an experience. Commitment is an act, not a word. Beyond the word, we should try to understand, Are you ready to live a life of commitment to God, to your own self, to people around you? So the commitment is something, different. There, his commitment was total. Right from the start. It was not that he developed it. Right from the start. We can see what happened, right from that Srirangam. Right from the Srirangam, as soon as he adopted sannyas, and when he went there and placed himself along with other two devotees who were singing bhajan, the response that came from him is the proof that how the commitment has become total there. Though he has written that the 3 vows he has taken, apparently vows are taken, but commitment to that vows is important, That has taken place right from the moment he has taken the vow. That is why God kept on testing him. So the message to all of us is now, we have to have some vows. And we have to see that there is a total commitment to the resolve we make. And number 3, we try to apply, and whenever there is a challenge, we should know it's a test given to us by him to get more and more concretized in our commitment. Kindly think about all these things.
Swamiji, as you just now said in the word, it is for Papa, it is from the starting he didn't develop it. This word developed, what I feel is that we are trying to develop, not committing. Development, we want to be like Papa or how he has. That will not work. It has to work in us. It has to work by itself. Not that we try to develop, then it will work. No, it has to go through. Then only it will work. Not that we try to develop. That means we are trying to emulate. That doesn't work.
Commitment, individual commitment.
Yes, it has to happen inside.
Inside. It has to happen inside only.
Chapter 33, 12, 13 and 14 paragraph, Swamiji.
23.
33.
Eh?
33, chapter 33.
33, yeah.
12, 13 and 20 paragraph.
Starting with?
Now, he made Ramdas sit on the path. The situation what we should.
Now he made Ramdas sit on the path.
Yes, yes.
He said that he had only one son, who was a veritable jewel.
Yes.
So intelligent, so mild, so good in character, so promising, so affectionate and loving, and also so handsome in features, such a model of perfection. And this son was carried away by plague about a month ago. Ever since this heavy loss, he had been stricken mad over the sad blow. He therefore begged Ramdas to find a way to him to bear this calamity.
How we should, how we should take the situation, how we can bear it then?
No, what Papa said, normally everybody says, but what impacts the person who says, his body language, his commitment to the words he expresses. He cannot explain what it is, but it has a telling effect. The thrust he gives, the diction he uses, the modulation. Because inside, when the commitment is there, it comes out in various forms. And it will positively impact on the viewers or the hearers. Everybody may not get inspired. But, of course, our tuning is also necessary. What matters from others is, I go there with a heart full of,
emotions and feelings.
I pass through severe crisis. And when I see a person, I find he is the person to whom I can ask. That receptivity has developed. That tuning has developed, knowingly or unknowingly. And that person, when he talks from his experience, if he is giving from the intellectual level, the knowledge level, it may not have its desired impact. But when he draws it from his own experience, an inexplicable impact will be there when he utters. So he said, brother, sorrow over the loss of your son is the illusion. If he has to say that, otherwise it's a tall talk. To be free from this sorrow means to know the reality. There is only one way to wake up to this reality, and that is to meditate upon that. The moment he said that, we can say, how can I do it? I cannot control the mind. Put in that. Well now, begin here to repeat the mantra which Ramdas is bidden by Ram to give you and see the immediate effect. Saying that he gave the Upadesha Rama mantra, made him repeat it then and there for about 15 minutes without stopping. While he was doing this, a sense of relief came to him. Because what was happening? He was putting a pen in his mind where the outgoing tendencies of the mind were stopped and slowly started to turn inward. That means inward what is there? peace absolute is there. Stillness absolute is there. When the mind started turning towards the peace, it gets some relief. Maybe for a 2 seconds. But it has turned. So Ramnam has encouraged to turn. He further admitted that since repeating the mantra, then he arose and saluting Ramdas said that he has secured the right key to unlock the gates of peace. Is he peace? So this is also a wonderful thing you have pointed out. We should know how Ramnam works now. If we are consciously chanting, if the outgoing tendencies of the mind are arrested, and when it is slowly, automatically, spontaneously, when it turns inward, from a distance it sees the stillness, the peace, and then moving towards it. Again there are disturbances, we come out of it. But ultimately we know that it is the stillness to which we are being led. That is why Papa said, you remember, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. So every time, being the votaries of Ramnam, all of us should keep this in view. Because Ramnam, the first and tangible gain is, it arrests all other thoughts.
A peace of mind it gives on.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 The fence is well knit. No time for a mind to go out. And by this practice, we are trying now. What happens? We will feel when the outgoing tendencies are arrested, as it were, the outcome will be experienced by us. Might be for the quarter second, might be for a second, might be for a couple of seconds, but still we got it. And then we try to maintain it.
Swamiji, when we repeat Ramnam, sense of doership should not be there. Sense of doership.
Forget about all those things. You stand, na? Let not the mind come out with any interpretation. Let us do it with this now. Again the mind may come with this. Let us stand with this attitude. Our outgoing tendencies of the mind should stop. So when we consciously stand, automatically this happens.
Consciously
consciously stand. So that the mind is not playing its trick there. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Om. Only the Ramnam and the Vacha is there, mind is not here.
Consciously doing.
We try. We have not trained our equipment, so we are trying it difficult, naturally. But we will be able to get over it. Initially it might be for a few minutes, but now we know I have beautifully brought that word, You have given me, then he rose and saluting Ramdas said, you have secured the right key to unlock the gates of peace. Please underline that. It's a beautiful word. Then he rose and saluting Ramdas said that he has secured the right key to unlock the gates of peace. It is not outside. The peace is inside. Peace is God. Stillness is God. So by a process, you can even call it as a mechanical process. It is not a mechanical process, but even then you can say it's a mechanical process. A mechanical process by which the thoughts are damned, they are not allowed to go. And immediately, thought, what can it do? It can go only turn inward. And then what is the outcome? It tries to see there the ocean of peace, ocean of stillness. And immediately, because we have not concretized through our sadhana, immediately the fence opens and we go out again.
What's completion?
Again we have to bring it back. He used the word meditation, you remember? There is only one way to wake up to this reality, and that is to meditate upon God. So not merely chanting.
Thank you, chanting.
Meditatively chanting. Okay, if there is a word. It is chanting with meditation, coupled with meditation, synchronized with meditation.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
Papa പറഞ്ഞു switch on your wire for direct communication. Why you are denying? പക്ഷെ ചോദ്യങ്ങള് തുടങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ ആൻസർ കിട്ടുന്നത് താമസിക്കുന്നു.
കിട്ടിയില്ല.
പപ്പയുടെ വേറൊരു വരി വായിക്കാനിടയായി. പപ്പയുടെ വേറൊരു വരി, inner voice speaks in the devotee when he has surrendered up his body, mind and soul into the keeping of the divine who dwells within him. In പപ്പാസ് പാത്തലെ ഇന്നർ വോയിസിൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് ലൈൻ പറയുന്നതാണ്. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടാൻ താമസിക്കില്ല സ്വാമി.
അങ്ങനെ താമസിക്കൊന്നുമില്ല, നമ്മളുടെ ഇന്റൻസിറ്റിക്ക് അനുസരിച്ചുണ്ടാവും.
When he has surrendered up his body, mind and soul into the keeping of the divine who dwells within him. എന്നാ പറയുന്ന സ്വാമിജി ഇന്നർ വോയിസ്.
അത് ഏതൊരു കോൺടാക്ട് പറഞ്ഞല്ലേ, ഈ പാത്തിരസ്പാത്രം എഴുതിയതല്ല, അത് കൾഡ് ഔട്ടാണ്. പാത്തിരസ്പാത്ത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് അതൊരു പലരിൽ നിന്ന് കള്ളൗട്ട് ചെയ്ത ആ കമ്പൈലാണ്. ഞാൻ നോക്കി പറയാം.
33 പേജ് നമ്പർ.
പാത്തിരസ്പാത്ത് എന്താ ചാപ്റ്റർ തുടങ്ങുന്നത്?
ഫസ്റ്റ് പേരാ സ്വാമിജി. ഇന്നർ വോയിസ് സ്പീക്ക്.
ഫസ്റ്റ് പാര തുടങ്ങുന്ന
ഫസ്റ്റ് സെന്റൻസ് ഇന്നർ വോയിസ് സ്പീക്ക്.
ഏത് പാരല്ലേ
സ്വാമിജി? ബാത്തലസ് പാത്ത് എന്ന ടെക്സ്റ്റിനകത്ത് ഇന്നർ വോയിസ് ചാപ്റ്റർ,
ഇന്നർ വോയിസ് എന്നൊരു ചാപ്റ്റർ ഉണ്ട്.
ഇന്നർ വോയിസ് ചാപ്റ്റർ, അതിന്റെ ഫസ്റ്റ് ലൈൻ.
എത്രാമത്താണ്? ചേഞ്ച് മസ്റ്റ് ബി വിതിൻ. Divine name is the ladder. Surrender. Sadhana. Meditation.
സമാധി, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതും കഴിഞ്ഞു. ആട്രിബ്യൂട്ട്സ് അതും കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഇന്നർ വോയിസ്
Attributes after reaching ആയില്ല,
അത് കഴിഞ്ഞു. ആട്രിബ്യൂട്ട്സ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്
inner voice speaks in the devotee when he has surrendered up his body, mind and soul into the keeping of the divine who dwells within him. In this state, the body becomes a willing instrument, the mind is enlightened with the divine radiance, the soul unites and identifies the Supreme Spirit. Now God's guidance is felt at every step, and the devotee's life becomes a spontaneous expression of divinity in all its modes of activity. His consciousness becomes one with the universal consciousness. He transcends the limitation of time and space. His vision becomes all-inclusive and all-embracing. Equality of vision becomes the background of the devotee's life, and this outlook illumines his entire external life. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഈ സെൻസ് ഓഫ് ഇൻഡിവിജ്വാലിറ്റി പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്തോ അതാണിതില്ല. ആ സെൻസ് ഓഫ് ഇൻഡിവിജ്വാലിറ്റി ഫോർ എൻ ഓർഡിനറി പേഴ്സൺ ലൈക്ക് us, we are trying to raise ourselves from the individual level. ആ ലെവൽ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ബൈ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ആയിട്ട് പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഫൈനലായിട്ട് വരുന്നതാണ് പപ്പ പോർട്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. ഇതിലെ പ്രോബ്ലം is, we are only conceptualizing what would be the outcome, and immediately we said something like, suppose I have to climb. I cannot climb. It is insurmountable. Why do you say that? You start climbing, But in order that I do not leave the climbing, somebody who has climbed it and come and say, it's a beautiful spot there. So many things you can see from there. So, right from the ground level, I may find it is impossible for me to do it. But a person who has gone, failed, and he comes and says, you go up. Why do we unnecessarily feel how it is insurmountable? We can't go there. No doubt, it is a tough path. No doubt about it. Any mountain, when you do the trekking, it is difficult, absolutely difficult. But with perseverance, with commitment, we keep on doing it. Let us not bother about what is there on the top. Let us not bother about the process of stepping in. It will be anything, Why do you think that it is impossible? Nothing was possible when we came to this world. Everything started becoming possible when we started attempting for it, when we were overlooking all the failures, when we were drawing inspiration from people who have scaled the heights, whether even while we were standing on two legs, Initially, when we were children, we were finding it difficult to get up and stand. And then later on, we started knowing the letters. We started going to the school, learning, memorizing, reproducing, assimilating, absorbing, reproducing. Again, all these things came not by. It is impossible. Suppose you are 4 years or 5 years of age, and you look at your father who has gone through, and he said, "No, I cannot become like him." No. Everyone can do that. He is portraying before us. This will help us. Inner voice speaks in the devotee when he has surrendered of his body, not merely the sentence, the whole sentence. Inner voice speaks in the devotee because inner voice means, God is speaking, the sense of individuality steps out. There is no sense of individuality. Everything becomes spontaneous. Everything becomes, natural, sahaj. There is no mind and intellect colorizing it. So, inner voice speaks in the devotee when he has surrendered of his body, mind and soul into the keeping of the divine who dwells within him. In this state, the body becomes a willing instrument. The mind is enlightened with the divine radiance. The soul unites and identifies with the Supreme State. Now, God's guidance is felt at every step. And the devotee's life becomes a spontaneous expression of divinity in all its modes of activity. You can say there, the modes of activity means a touch of love, a touch of perfection, a touch of dedication, a touch of gratitude. All these are all the expressed forms. The devotee's life becomes a spontaneous expression of divinity in all its modes of activity. His consciousness becomes one with the universal consciousness, the rays from the individual level. And he transcends the limitations of time and space. His vision becomes all-inclusive and all-embracing. Equality of vision becomes the background of the devotee's life. And this outlook illumines his entire external life. So he has portrayed the state of affairs of a person who has scaled the height. We are all on the ladder. You have heard about, the Junagadh Dattatreya, what is it called? Girnar. There are about 9,500 steps. 9,500 steps. To go and come back means nearly 20,000 steps. So suppose we are gone. With all enthusiasm we go. We do about 1,000 steps. And suppose we say we can't. Another 500, somebody pushes. Again we say no. But suppose the commitment is there. It can be two ways. It can be in an adventurous way. It can be with a spiritual outlook. Adventurous way, I will do it. God gives him the necessary power to endure. In the other case, we are praying to him. You made me to take up this. You have brought this at this level. And you made legs to feel pain. And we feel, we may not be able to do it. Please help us. There are 2-3 ways. When we went there, we saw, youngsters running. Halfway we thought we would not be able to finish. Because it's mountain after mountain after mountain, We thought we have almost reached it. No. Again, whatever we have done, we have to do the same thing. But we saw people who were running, youngsters, with all enthusiasm, with joy, so in their mind, God has given him some other priority to overlook this seemingly problem. And then, when we reach the top, it's something indescribable. So let us not get the Papa through this inner voice chapter is portraying before us the state of person who has scaled the heights. We are still on the scaling the heights. But it is always good to have that portrait before our mind. Because even in our journey we might be able to enjoy. Whatever experiences or whatever situations he brings in between this journey, we will be able to take it. Oh, this is what I am to reach. No grumbling, no complaints. And God has prompted me to take it up. So he will know how to lead me. I have to surrender myself to him. By myself I cannot do it. Inside he is working through my heart, through my breathing, through my blood circulation, through my lifting the legs. I become aware of this. This is surrender. Surrender is not a thing where we have to bring so many other concepts. Just look at ourselves, how the machinery works inside and how he is pumping it beautifully. The moment he stops, we will drop dead. So like that, this is called surrender. We become aware of what all he has given us to travel. And then, if he has given this much, did he not give us? He has given us an idea. You must scale. And he has provided a body, mind, intellect. And he is pumping it. He is pushing it. Suddenly I feel, I limit myself to the body. Then I feel I am miserable. I cannot do it. I sit there, ponder over it. In whatever way, try to bring him. Don't come. Please don't sit inside. Come out. You make me feel the body tired. I'm Sagaya. But again, we get infused. Like that we keep on going. He starts inner voice, let us not take any inner voice, what he meant was, total, in the absence of sense of individuality, whatever we talk, whatever we think, whatever we act, it comes directly from him. There is no intermediary. It is continuous in character. Yes, why Papa brought this, from Father's past? It is necessary for our journey. It is absolutely necessary for our journey. I will again read once more. Inner voice speaks in the devotee when he has surrendered of his body, mind and soul into the keeping of the divine who dwells within him. In this state, the body becomes a willing instrument. The mind is enlightened with the divine radiance, and the soul unites and identifies with the supreme source. Now, God's guidance is felt at every step, and the devotee's life becomes a spontaneous expression of divinity in all its modes of activity. His consciousness becomes one with the universal consciousness, and he transcends the limitation of time and space. His vision becomes all-inclusive, all-embracing. Equality of vision becomes the background of the devotee's life, and this outlook illumines his entire external life. The compiler of this book have gone through Papa's writings extensively, and he was inspired from within to bring it out. These are all compilations. All these things are compilations. In a letter, Sadhguru Swami Ramdas Maharaj says the following: When Ramdas was given the mantra to an aspirant, the first and the last thing that he should do is to repeat it constantly, and for the rest, he can act as his inner voice, which is the voice of the Guru, directs him or her in the columns of the vision. And the several books Ramdas has written, he has given all possible instructions for the guidance of sadhakas. A hint here and a hint there can help the sadhaka on the path. Taking this as Guru Vakya, a direction from the Guru, the compiler for his own use and guidance, collected and arranged the extracts contained in this brochure. As several other aspirants also found the instruction helpful to them and urged the compiler to make it available for all, and with the permission of the Guru, this brochure is published. These extracts represent the several rungs of the ladder of spiritual evolution. The extracts under the heading Hints from Sadhana and Meditation are especially helpful to the aspirant. Going up this ladder step by step, the aspirant may reach the acme of spiritual experience and thus attain immortal joy and freedom. So that means when we go through Papa's teachings, we get some inspiration. And whenever there is an inner alignment with the theme discussed by Papa, immediately it is jotted down and then culled out. And when we find immeasurable joy, inexplicable joy, we try to put it in an order and then bring it out. That is how the path came. Let us not think that straight away. No. Those are all definitely hints, no doubt. It will help us not to discourage us.
Swamiji, I am in lower KG. This area, lower KG.
Jayendran.
Why, Swamiji?
What an reminder. It has been brought out beautifully.
ആ പോയിന്റ് നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ളതാണ് സ്വാമി.
ആവശ്യമാണ്, ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി ആവശ്യം. അവിടെ കയറിയാൽ എന്തുണ്ടാവും അറിയണല്ലോ.
അതെ.
Lower KG Swamiji, I will ask small question. One incident happened, that I am breaking my head. See, if one person told Papa, you are repeating Ram and having so much joy. I am repeating for so many years, but I am not getting this joy like you. And he told something. So please explain to me, because I am not following. I am confused.
Again, he only said, so long as you feel you are repeating, you will not get the joy. That is what he said. So long as you are feeling that you are repeating. In Papa says,
when we feel that we are repeating, is it consciously repeating? No, that is meaning is consciously repeating. No, that I am confused. Please explain. Don't think.
Don't think about. Start doing it. That's all. Even that confusing. Make it all right.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, we can read his letter again and again and again and again. But how to chant, how great is it, how to chant Ramnam? He has specifically mentioned it. Papa has written in the book, In the Vision of God, about a sadhu who did not find joy even though he had repeated name for 30 years. For 30 years.
Yes,
because he was repeating the name with the feeling that he was doing it. Let him repeat it like that for 100 years till he will remain the same.
There only my confusion. With feeling repeating means is it with conscious or without? That was some confusion is there.
That is, there are clues, unless you experiment and you see for yourself whether it is working or not. You have to try, It can't be given from outside.
Okay, Swamiji.
It has to be done. He must feel it, He goes on repeating day by day. He looks upon others who are not repeating the name. Even if he repeats Ramnam lakhs of times, he cannot improve. So how can a sadhaka know where he is progressing or not? Each one can read for oneself. If he examines his mind, what he is thinking, what he is desiring, where there are cravings, desires, hankering. Do you think the mind is in tune with God? I am repeating, but the mind is wondering, what can I do? Because he thinks he is doing it. He must be humble enough to admit that God is doing it. Not merely orally saying, but feeling. It must become a consciousness. Whenever he is told that he is repeating the name, at once he must be able to say, God is making me repeat God's name. So our sufferings are due to the assumption that we are doing everything. So we are asked to surrender. Beyond that, Papa cannot help us. We have to do it by ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for disturbing you.
Yes. So IQG in-depth study, tries to bring so many facets of sadhana.
Yes.
And we should be able to listen to it. Every time we try to make some trial which suits us, is that we will enough.
Swamiji, Rosary has got 108 beats. But here Papa has given 67 beats at the end after coming out of the cave.
Yeah.
67 beat, so nice. ராம் நீ ஒளி அன்பு மற்றும் ஆனந்தம் ஆகிய ராகங்களை உருவான இன்னிசை ஓ ராமதாஸ் பெருமகிழ்ச்சியின் மூற்றங்களாகிய இதை பருகி சுற்று நடனமாடு குலுங்கி ஆடு விழித்தெழு இல்லை அந்த போதையில் பேரானந்தத்தில் மாற்றிருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். உன்னை எழுந்து செய்யலாம் சரிங்களா? இதுலயே எல்லாமே அமைந்தது. Raman, goodness, love, affection. If you come in brought into and daily, each and every second, we are having the Ramnam effect. That is the question that is just coming in the minds of all, always giving trouble. I am not just going deep, I am not going deep. All the goodness, it is but evident that it is wrong. This is my understanding. Am I correct?
You are right.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Okay.
What she told, I didn't understand. What she told, I didn't understand.
You try to do it with whatever strikes to you, Let not the mind so much work.
No, Swami, if you said 108 beats, then I couldn't understand because you were telling in Tamil or something. I couldn't understand.
No. 37 beats are there in IQG.
67.
37 chapters.
And in the cave it is 67 beats.
And finally, he takes to the cave.
Yes.
And there he just comes
67.
out. So any chapter, any portion from the cave can definitely link us to him directly. If we are blessed with his grace to go with the theme, not reading, but assimilating, absorbing. If that process is there, all these beats become relevant. One chapter is enough. One beat is enough. One is enough because everywhere the same is repeated in so many forms through so many incidents, that's all. So that we will get more and more concretized in our faith, in our commitment, in our pursuit. So with that attitude we go through again and again and again and again, and then try to do. During the non-chanting time, what we do matters much. We should know that. Not to be limited only during the chanting time. What we do, what we think, what we talk during the non-chanting time matters much to derive the fullest benefit. So suppose we have a different personality there and a different personality while chanting. The marriage will not take place.
Yes.
So that is why we have been asked to have, we have put it in a beautiful way, the inner aspiration should be compatible with the outer activity. We are all finding it difficult because inner aspiration we all have. But we have not been able to combine, we have not been able to link, we have not been able to synchronize, we have not been able to harmonize with the aspiration with our outer activity. So wherever some adjustments we have to make, we have to keep on doing it.
Yes.
This message you have to take it. Outer activities, how do I handle things? How do I handle an object? How do I handle a person? How do I handle a situation? Where am I trying to raise myself from the individual level? I would have failed. But one out of so many transactions today, suppose I have succeeded, then that I keep on thinking. In short, suppose we are leading a value-based life and then bringing the God dimension. Mere value-based life will not do. Value-based life with the inner aspiration. Because value-based life means there is a me to we there. Inner aspiration is me to him. So this me to him at the inner level, me to we at the outer level, it harmoniously helps us to move forward. Please note this. Me to we at the outer level, not me to me. Me to me at the outer level. And inside, me to him, me to him, me to him. So me to him at the inner level, me to we at the outer level. If we have been able to somehow carry on with this, we will be progressing. And all that now we have just now read from the Pathir's path, it will slowly becoming clearer and clearer to us. Yeah. So today it has been wonderful. So many new areas.
Swamiji,
yes.
After the introduction, the first Ram, the truth, the now, that one page, Swamiji, 10 times even that, it was not thinking. I couldn't cross. Forget about the remaining 37 chapters. One line there itself got stumbled. There, stop. I can't. I tried 10 times, 100 times. I tried to go through one sentence over. Stop. I can't cross that. I felt quite a good number of times. Why 37 chapters? One line here to realize this great truth. Who through ignorance, this one word has put me down. That's it. Through ignorance, feel as separate individuals, that infinite power, individuals should submit ourselves to the will and working of the infinite power, that infinite love, Ram, who is one and all pervading. By a complete surrender to the will of Ram, we lose consciousness of the body, which keeps us aloof from him, and find ourselves in a state of complete identification and union with Ram, who is in us and everywhere around us. This one statement, Swamiji, I couldn't cross even one line. I am reading entire sentence, but in one line, one word, it's very, very difficult. I couldn't. I tried 100 times. Even every time whenever you speak, I come back to this one particular first chapter after this. And I feel, why should we, this one is not sufficient. Without crossing this, if you are going on talking, as you say regularly, tall talk, becoming a tall talk. These words echo continuously inside. Shut up. Did you get rid of your body sense? Without which, why you go on talk so much? This one sentence is every moment.
We will try to put it in a different way. This is the first article in that book. O Ram, the truth, the love, the goal of perfection.
Correct.
We take it, he is portraying before us what is the cream of the entire spiritual journey, spiritual progress, spiritual culmination. So first we try to observe, this is the stage I have to reach. To strive to approach Ram, and understand Ram is to recede from the world of vanishing form. Because Ram is the only truth, the only reality. Ram is a subtle and mysterious power that pervades and sustains the whole universe. Birthless and deathless it is. He is present in all things and in all creatures who only appear as separate entities due to their ever-changing form. To wake up from this illusion of form is to realize at once the unity or love of Ram. Love of Ram means love of all beings, all creatures, all things in this world, because Ram is in all is in Ram, Ram is all in all. To realize this great truth, we, who through ignorance feel a separate individual, should submit ourselves to the will and working of that infinite power, that infinite love Ram, who is the one and all pervading. By a complete surrender to the will of Ram, we lose consciousness of the body, which keeps us aloof from Him, find ourselves in a state of complete identification and union with Him, with Ram, who is in us and everywhere around us. So this is the creep, no? Then in order that, if we are in a position to stop there and carry on, nothing like that. That is a wonderful state. But ordinary people who are obsessed with so many things, who have their own conceptual presence, who have done something, who have formed certain opinions, who are under the rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, preferences, priorities, etc., etc. They need something more. So towards this Ram, in quest of Ram, He has placed before us a journey. Though it is not a step-by-step journey, it is a journey, the starting point and the end point is one and the same. But in order that we try to capture this, we have put it in 37 chapters, 37 beats, okay. Each one ringing through the same thing. Same. What is given in the first article, it is given out in different forms. For the workaday people, no? Who are with the family, who are with profession, who are with the society, who are subject to so many ups and downs, they need some cushioning, some pushing, no? Some controlling, some counseling. All those things are necessary for them to take this journey. Otherwise they get stuck. The first article, they can't move. But when we travel through the 37 chapters, starting from a stressful mind, ending with a serene mind, then we find, So everything is relevant.
Yes, sir. My essence is, in every chapter, essence is the same. Same. Every chapter, essence is the same. At the end, He will connect me to we and me to Him, me to Him, me to Him, me to Him. That's it. Every essence is that one.
Today He is giving it, me to Him inside, me to we outside.
Swamiji, ever-changing form, once I ask you, again, not clear, ever-changing form. Can you explain some ever-changing form? Due to the ever-changing form.
Yesterday the rice is there in our dabba. Okay? Today it will come in the form of rice, cooked rice. Yes, and tomorrow it comes in the form of soup.
Correct. We told once. Yes. Once you told.
Everything is like that. It keeps on changing. Okay then. Hari Om. Very nice.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Ram, Hari Ram, Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om.